Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Jackson Dollinger about his new music coming out. We're also going to talk about some of his projects, including Life by Ella on AppleTV Plus, and of course, you know him from City to the Max on Disney Channel. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always exciting when you have new music out, but I feel like it's always kind of a weird, overwhelming feeling because you record a song, you like get it out there to the world, and it's kind of out of your hands a little bit. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple releases under my belt, but it's still, it's still that butterflies in your stomach type of feeling when you drop a song because you don't know how people are gonna, accept the song or whatever, or like you don't know what their opinion about it's gonna be. But I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I've been sitting on this one for a long time.
What can you tell us about it specifically?
Yeah, so the song's called One and Only. It's written, produced, and engineered by me. I have a home studio, and so I made it there when I was 14. So I've been sitting on this song for probably like a year and a half, and I'm so excited it's finally coming out. And it's an upbeat pop song, but it's also inspired by missing someone that you felt complete with.
Absolutely. And what do you think about all of like the genre bending happening in music right now? I feel like there's a lot. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, no, it is. I love it. Like unreleased stuff. Like as far as my unreleased goes, I have some crazy stuff. Like I don't know. Have you heard of like hyperpop before?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So I love hyperpop.
Well, I've interviewed like Eliotto's been on my show, Sugar Crash.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
that's so fire.
Yeah, so like, hyperpop is like
I love hyperpop.
Big, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so I have some hyperpop coming in. There's this this genre I think it's kind of a trend right now. I don't know how long it'll last, but it's called Jersey Club, and I have like a song that blends like hyperpop and Jersey Club. Super cool. I have some plug and B songs, but I'm so into like the combining genres.
I listen to a lot of like electronic metal. There's a band called Electric Callboy from Germany that does this like mix of like techno with like heavy metal, which is really cool. Like I just love.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, no, there's so much stuff out there right now too, which
is
crazy.
It's crazy.
And when's your song coming out specifically?
November 11th.
Ooh, okay, that's gonna be, and it's gonna, and you know, it's funny, people say, hey Jackson, like, where can I listen to your new song? Literally, like wherever you listen to music, it's
everywhere. It's gonna be out. It's gonna be out on all platforms, and you guys, everyone can follow my Instagram if they want to, like, be updated on what's going on with it. I'm gonna be posting some videos on TikTok with the sound. And yeah, it's gonna come out Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube, literally everywhere you listen.
Wherever you listen to music, it will be there. They gotta check it out. Did you always know you were gonna do both acting and music, or does it kind of just happen, Jackson?
It honestly kind of just happened. Like I had no clue I was gonna start making music. I've always liked music, and like I used to listen to like pop music like on the way to elementary school and all that. But when I started acting, I definitely had no clue I was gonna get into it. It was actually one of my castmates, Ava Kolker, on the Disney show that I was on, City to the Max. She started making music, and I was just like, and then I saw a lot of actors that were like also like branching out into music, and I was like, I want to do this, but I don't want to have a full team of people do it with me. Like I want to be like self-sufficient with it. So that's when I started producing, and then started making full songs like on my beats and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that always fascinates me, the people that do both, that are like kind of multifaceted, because I feel like there's so many different routes that you get there. I feel like maybe you have one passion for one of them and then the other happens. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's also like maybe you wanted to always do both. Like that always interests me. And I feel like I've heard the other way around too. Like I've heard people who are like, I want to be a musician, and then they go into acting too. So I feel like it's interesting that it's both, like it's back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is interesting. Some projects have come out recently. Life by Ella on Apple TV Plus with Lily Brooks O'Brien.
Yes.
That's an emotional show. There's a lot happening. It's a feel-good show, but it is an emotional show. What can you tell us about your character specifically on that show?
Well, For sure. So I played Gavin, and the show's a comedy, but it's still super heartfelt and
Yeah.
emotional, like you said. Um, and so pretty much when Ella gets to the hospital, the story centers around her.
Yeah.
She has cancer, and when she gets to the hospital, my character Gavin kind of shows her that you can make the most out of any situation that you're in, and it doesn't all have to be negative. Like you can still find some fun things to do. And one of the interesting things about the show is that in one of the episodes, episode 9, they kind of show like the whole backstory of the show, where pretty much I got like when I first got to the hospital, just like Ella, I was not happy to be there. Like anyone going to the hospital, nobody wants to go to the hospital. And I learned how to flip the negative to a positive and, you know, find things around there to have fun with from the character named Poppy. So she kind of passed down the knowledge to me, and then I became Ella's Poppy essentially, and I kind of gave her the wisdom that she needed.
Yeah, it's an important character for sure. I feel like, you know, the show dropped, like unlike your song November 11 where people have to wait, this is out on Apple TV Plus. So
yes,
people can go watch it. What is it like kind of having a show? I mean, I guess you're used to it a little bit with like City to the Max on Disney Channel, which we'll get into it, but it's still a crazy feeling, right? Like it drops on like Apple TV Plus and like everyone gets to see it.
Yeah. So this one was cool because I've never had a show come out like all the episodes at once. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
City to the Max was like, it
week
dropped like
week.
on a weekly basis. Yeah, exactly. But this was cool because this is just like out, like boom, like everything's out. So it was cool to like binge watch a show that I was on, like, you know what I mean? Instead of like waiting week by week to see the episodes.
I feel like there's as a viewer, like which one do you prefer? I like them both, to be honest with you. I like when they're week to week, and I like the draw. I like them both.
I personally think a week, like from a marketing standpoint, I feel like a week is better. Like, for example, like I watched The Bachelor and stuff, and The Bachelorette and like Bachelor in Paradise, right? And that's like, don't judge me. But okay, so those drop on a weekly basis, and I'm constantly craving watching them like the whole week. Like I'm like, I can't wait till Monday and Tuesday so I can watch it. Like, you know what I mean? So
what would it be like if you? Because I watch not as much anymore, but I watched Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. I watched those.
So good.
Can you imagine like binging that though? I don't know if I could be able to do that. I don't know if I could sit through like 8 hours of that.
It's a lot. It's like a mentally draining show, but it's so good.
The fan base of City to the Max, like all around the world, because of the Disney Channel effect and everything, is just it's incredible. What was it like kind of working on a show? Did you know you were part of something special from the first kind of couple of episodes filming that show?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an honor to be a Disney kid in general, you know, like to have gone through all the experiences that come with being on Disney Channel for 3 years. And I mean, it was an incredible 3 years. I learned so much. Yeah, I mean, I only have good things to say about it, honestly. It's just a cool thing. Like, it's crazy. It's like, it's such a rare, like, if you think about it, like, what are the odds of like being on a Disney show? It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just
I'm so grateful.
It's like you said, like the Disney kid, like just thinking of all the shows on Disney Channel.
I know.
To think that you're like part of the mix is like a pretty surreal feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought like even when I got the initial audition, I thought the show was like definitely really special because I felt like it read more like a network show and less like a Disney show. And it was so like the role of young Max just came to me so naturally because literally for like the audition, like I don't know if you've seen the pilot, but I'm like begging my mom to bleach my hair, and that's one thing that I did when I was younger. I would beg my mom, and
there's like a relatable aspect of it.
Yeah. So it was just like I was like, I don't know. I felt like a calling towards it, I guess. It was cool.
I find it interesting. You bring that up about the network and everything. I find it interesting because, you know, you're doing this show. You're like, you know, everyone on the cast, they're younger and they're some of them. It's probably like their first kind of big project and everything. You know what I mean?
It was mine.
Exactly. So, did you see it as because a lot of people that you know work on Disney Channel, you know, it's like a stepping stone. They go and work on other things as well. You know what I mean? Did you see it though, like as a kid, like, oh no, I'm working, or did you see it also like as a stepping stone, like this is gonna lead to more projects, a little bit of both? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. I definitely saw it as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I saw it as a boost. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now you're in. Now you got to use this to do something, something else, or like, yeah, it's just such a great opportunity. Like,
But at the same time, you're working. You're there. You're working.
Yeah.
You're doing the craft. You have lines. Like at the end, you have call times, right? So
Call
it's like,
times.
yeah.
yeah. And I went to regular school until 5th grade, and I got the show. I actually filmed the pilot like in the middle of the school year in 5th grade. And then so pretty much the show like filmed like right through middle school. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that was like my first time doing homeschool. I just had a lot to learn.
Oh, absolutely. Getting back to your song very quickly, when people get a chance to listen to it, what are you hoping they get out of it, takeaway wise?
I hope the beat is very like light. Like I hope it can like bring a smile to someone. I hope it makes them think about like someone they miss and like brings back like a good memory. And I hope they enjoy it.
Amazing. Jackson, thank you so much for joining me on Popternative. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting with you too.
Yeah, the song's going to be available wherever you listen to music, November 11th. Your Instagram account is just your name, I believe, right?
Yes. Yep.
It's just Jackson Dollinger. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, so Jackson Dollinger and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.